We slow the clips, sync angles, and stick only to what cameras show and official records confirm. No hype, no guesswork. On a carrier, the margin is razor thin. Ball, lineup, and rate must agree, or the round down will settle the argument. PLAT tape doesn't care about reputation or generation. It records geometry. Too low, too fast, too late. A Panther on a wooden deck. A Crusader with its wing pitched high. A Tomcat at night. Another on a heaving angle. And a 5th-gen jet that proves the ship never forgives. Cables whip, fuel flashes. Sailors run toward fire. This is about discipline at the edge of physics, how a few feet decide everything. Now we begin on Oriskany. USS Oriskany's deck cameras capture a reconnaissance RF8G Crusader from VFP 63 Det 4 turning final. On the glide path, the picture looks just a hair low. Then, the jet clips the round down at the stern. The landing gear tears away, metal shrieks. The Crusader scuds onto the deck, slices across the arresting wires, and skates straight off the angle into open water. A white canopy arcs out. The pilot, Lieutenant T.B. Scott, ejects and survives. Crash and rescue crews race to the foul line. No deck injuries are confirmed in the records. The wreck sinks within minutes. What the film shows is geometry, not motives. An approach below the proper descent profile, a sudden energy bleed on impact, and no usable distance left to stop. The F-8 was demanding at the boat. High approach speeds, a variable incidence wing, and little tolerance for vertical rate errors. On a carrier, low is not a little wrong. It is the difference between catching a wire and leaving the ship. Cause beyond that remains undocumented publicly. This account stays with what is on record and what the cameras reveal. Nothing more. USS Midway is running carrier suitability trials for Grumman's straight-wing F9F Panther. Commander George Chamberlain Duncan of VF-51 turns in for his second trap. The picture looks steady, until the final seconds, when the jet settles just below the stern. It slams the round down, the airframe breaks behind the cockpit, and a sheet of fire scours the wooden deck. The forward fuselage, with Duncan still strapped in, skids and tumbles down the center line. The burning aft section follows, scattering debris and fuel. Crash crews sprint through the heat. When the nose finally stops, sailors pull the pilot from the cockpit. Burned, helmet torn away, but alive. No deck fatalities are recorded. The Panther, BU number 125228, is a total loss. The footage will become classroom material for generations of naval aviators. What the film shows is geometry, not theory. An approach that fell below the proper glide path, an impact at the ramp, and no distance left to recover. In 1951, with straight decks and limited aids, early carrier jets demanded brutal precision. Duncan was flying again within months. The lesson that endured across ready rooms was stark. At the boat, just low is catastrophic. Every time. Night recovery aboard USS Abraham Lincoln. VF-213's F-14A Tomcat, call sign Lion 111, turns at the 180 and steadies in the groove. On the PLAT camera, the picture looks deceptively calm. Meatball flirting low, lineup centered, until the last seconds, when the jet sags below the glide slope and clips the round down. The Tomcat smashes into the stern, bursts into a sheet of flame, and breaks apart. The nose skitters down the angle trailing fire, while the rest of the airframe tumbles overboard. Two flashes cut through the glare. Ejection seats. The radar intercept officer clears the wreckage and survives with injuries. The pilot, Lieutenant Matthew T. Clark, does not. Crash crews charge through burning JP-5, hoses and foam carts sweeping the deck. Arresting wires whip loose and then fall silent. Flight ops stop. Sailors check for secondary fires, mark debris, and begin the long reset. What the film gives us is geometry, not conjecture. An approach that went low, an instantaneous energy dump on impact, and no remaining distance to stop. At night, the carrier offers no forgiveness. Rate, attitude, and power must align exactly, or the ship will meet you first. Here, a few feet made all the difference. Night seas and a heaving deck. USS Kittyhawk is taking hard swings as an F-14A from VF-51 steadies in the groove. On the PLAT camera, the meatball drifts low. Then, the Tomcat clips the round down. The impact tears the jet apart. The aft fuselage detonates and hangs in the wires, while the forward section skates up the angle in a river of fire. Two blossoms of light. Ejection seats. The RIO clears cleanly. The pilot comes down near the flames and is dragged out by crash crews, badly burned, but alive. Flight ops halt. Foam carts blanket the deck. Tractors push wreckage clear. Sailors mark debris and cap ruptured hoses. The angle is scarred and smoking as the ship resets under a haze of JP-5. There's no mystery in the tape, only geometry and timing. A low approach to a violently pitching runway. A sudden energy dump on impact. And no remaining deck to stop. At the boat, just low is not a small error. It is the difference between catching a wire and breaking in two. The airframe is gone. The lesson endures. Daytime recovery aboard USS Carl Vinson. An F-35C from VFA 147 steadies in the groove. Ball flirting low, lineup centered. In the final seconds, the jet sags beneath the glide path and sides the round down. The strike rips open the underside. Flame and debris wash across the angle. The nose pitches through the wires, the jet skips, skids, and then slides off the deck edge into the sea. A white flash arcs away. Ejection. The ship's search and rescue team vectors to the chute while crash crews hit the fire with foam. Several sailors are injured amid whipping arresting cables and burning JP-5. Flight ops halt as the deck turns black and slick. Minutes later, the ocean has the airframe. By dusk, the angle is a worksite of hoses, tractors, and scorched non-skid. The tape offers certainty, but not motive. An approach gone low, instantaneous energy loss on impact, and no remaining runway to stop. 5th gen or 1st gen, the carrier does not grade on a curve. Energy, attitude, and rate must align precisely, or the ship will meet you first. Any conclusions beyond that belong to investigators. Here, we stay with what's on record and what the cameras show. Nothing more. 5 incidents, 1 lesson. The ship is indifferent. The ball can drift, the deck can heave, the cables can part, but the round down never negotiates. Cameras don't assign blame. They measure geometry. In each case, the math is the same. A glide path that sagged, energy that vanished on impact, and no remaining distance to recover. Respect to the crews who ran toward fire, and to the aviators who paid the price. We stay with what's on record and what the footage verifies, nothing more. If you served on Oriskany, Midway, Abraham Lincoln, Kittyhawk, or Carl Vinson and have primary documents or deck logs, share them. We'll review and correct as needed. This series is about discipline at the edge of physics. Thanks for watching. Now pause the tape, look at the picture, and ask the only question that matters at the boat. Where's the ball?